My name is Jon Stewart, and I am an investigative producer. In 1997, I viewed a documentary that shocked myself and many others. Reportedly, a person who claimed to be a government employee brought forward an alleged 3-minute VHS tape, which allegedly showed a gray alien being interviewed in an underground facility south of Area 51. The video and the whistleblower named Victor completely captivated me. In 2019, I decided to do a comprehensive 5-year investigation simply into the truth of this video. What I didn't expect was that the UFO world didn't believe me. Hollywood was terrified of me. The media ignored me. And the United States government did everything they can to destroy me.
Many of you may remember the 1997 documentary film that came out titled Area 51, The Alien Interview. Directed by Jeff Broadstreet, this movie showed what most people who have had contact with these beings describe what would be called a gray alien, which was in a dark room having an interview done with it, which at one point then had medical staff giving it attention. It also featured a man named Victor hidden from the camera, as he was a claimed whistleblower explaining what the government was covering up with this biological entity. No one at the time the movie was released knew if it was real, but now 28 years later, Mr. Stewart covers his detailed research in the clips you're about to see.
To prove it was a hoax, like you said, no one's ever talked about this film, so I don't know what if I could find out something about the alien itself, whether it was a dollar real. Is there something I could clench my teeth into? And it was that little crazy monitor where the green blip went up and down instead of across the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I've never seen a monitor. I'm not a medical person, but just in my life, I was 54, 53 at the time. I had never seen a medical monitor with the green blip. And the blip comes off the bottom to oscilloscope people out there going, it's an oscilloscope from Bell Labs and the gain is turned up. It's not.
Yeah.
Because the blip goes off the bottom, and every oscilloscope, the green blip or line attaches itself from the bottom as it goes into mid-screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We have stop motion of this blip having nothing underneath it. It does not, it uncouples itself from the bottom. So it's not an oscilloscope. And so thank God for the internet, because that was my co-pilot through this whole investigation. And within an hour, I had contacted 3 people that were in their PhDs, and they did a history of physiological monitors. The history, the video, without the alien, of course. I cropped it, and they wrote back and said, "We have no idea what this is." Now, these are 3 people that just went over for a year the entire history of physiological monitors. They have no idea what they're looking at. Then I realized through the internet, on my phone, in my car, that Hewlett Packard and Space Labs were the only 2 companies making physiological monitors in the 90s when Victor said this film was filmed. Okay. And that Space Labs did it for NASA. They made physiological monitors for Apollo, Gemini, and so through the advent of internet, I called their research and development departments for physiological monitors, believe it or not. So Space Labs said, I've never seen it before. There's a bunch of us looking at the video. We don't know what it is. Oh my God. I get a guy on the phone from Hewlett Packard, old guy. And I send it to him, and I call him back in 10 minutes. He's like, I don't know what we're looking at. He said, but I think, you said this is from a government lab. I said, yeah, don't hang up on me. Yeah. It's allegedly from an underground government facility. And he's not laughing or, cracking a joke or laughing on the phone. He goes, I think you're looking at a one-of. I'm like, what's a one-of? He's like, well, in any scientific application or any type of situation where you want to solve something, you would make a one-of, a specially made item that's not in a production run and made specifically to figure out or solve a problem, usually in a scientific manner. And he gave me the analogy that if you were looking for gold in the 1800s, you'd want to make a gold metal detector, of course, a one-of device to help you look for gold.
Yeah.
Made sense to me. And he said, I think you're looking at a one-of. He said, well, what is the context of this? I'm like, well, I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
I said, look, this is allegedly monitoring the heart, lung, one sac organ of an off-planet being. Allegedly, sir. Please don't hang up on me. He's like, no, that's fine. He's like, well, that would make even more sense that it would be a one-of, because a regular human physiological monitor would probably not be able to monitor a different organ, heart and lung, of an extraterrestrial. And I'm like, this guy is actually talking seriously about an extraterrestrial, a physiological monitor, if that's what it is. And he said, if there's anything I can help you with, feel free to call me back. I said, look, he was like 63 years old. I said, because I just wanted to make sure. Probably never going to talk to this guy again, so I wanted to make sure. I said, sir, in all your time developing physiological monitors, 35 years, have you seen anything like this on a drawing board with your colleagues at a conference somewhere? And all of the years, have you ever seen anything like this where the blip does not go across the screen horizontally, it goes up and down? He said, I've never seen anything like that before, ever. Not on the drawing board, not in a seminar, not a prototype. And he said, and he said the name of the blip. It was a scientific name. And he said, and I don't know why you would want it to not want it to go across the screen, why you'd want it to go up and down, stationary. Here I am in my car within an hour and a half, and I basically had the physiological monitor world tell me, we've never seen this before.
Mr. Stewart then goes on the Richard Dolan show and covers the location where the alien interview took place and the differences from the original video provided by Victor.
You did show me a slide of a comparison between the original version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, folks, this is how it came. This is what Victor's VHS tape looked. There it is.
This is it.
Yeah. This is how the videotape came to Rocket Pictures, folks. On the right is the dramatic and darkened version for the documentary. But this is what Victor brought to Rocket Pictures. This bluish, where you can see the entire arms and thoracic cavity of the being. In this internal briefing from the DIA, sent to me by someone who worked with the DIA years back, he must have, from his contact, it said basically the time, date, who was in the viewing gallery watching this, which is called a thought projection interview, the facility that it was, what type of alien being, ET, this was, how the film was smuggled out of this top secret facility, and it wasn't S4, as Victor said. It was a facility called S2 Alpha, and we have the satellite photo of it. S2 Alpha. S2 Alpha is the building on top of the ground. It's got administration, and it's got the AHC beneath it, which is, there it is.
That's it.
That is the entrance to the alien housing complex, S2 Alpha, the S2 Annex. Folks, no one in ufology is going to bring you this. I have brought you this. You go down that ramp, you turn to the left, a guard comes out, he hooks up an exhaust to your car, you go in and exchange badges. Now beneath S2 Alpha is the AHC, the Alien Housing Complex. This is what I was told. The Alien Housing Complex. This is where extraterrestrials were held, were retained for Project Aquarius, which was the alien retention and interrogation program. But this Holden character from Right Pat told me something that I don't know why did not catch fire on the internet. That the new designation of extraterrestrials with the United States government, there is a new designation called SABER, like a sword. Synthetic astrobiological extraterrestrial races. He said, no one, you are the only civilian to know this right now. You can put it on the internet, but don't
you are the only person that I have ever leaked this to. And that, he goes, if there is a general in these programs drinking his coffee and sees you on an internet talking about Saber, he's going to spit his coffee across the room. He goes, you're going to alarm a lot of people. But I'm going to give you that. Scott said you're a trustworthy person. And so the new designation by the government is not EBINs. It's not there's nicknames they've given them, visitors, the little kids. NHI, visitors, little kids. That's like informal things that they've called them. Saber, synthetic, astrobiological, extraterrestrial races. And, Wright Pat has the infamous blue room where allegedly, many dead bodies of extraterrestrials are stored in some sort of liquid cryogenic
synthetic
state. Synthetic.
Why
That's what
synthetic?
Victor said, that these beings, like what you saw in our interview, he is a synthetic automaton, a synthetic cyborg. He's not sentient, but he's part biological material, part machine. And the machine is mostly in the brain and in the processing of the brain. They are a cloned, created species that I think are cloned specifically to handle the long distance travel.
Mr. Stewart has done multiple podcasts explaining his revelations, and while many may still think the movie was and still is a hoax, then one has to ask themselves, logically, why are the highest level of influencers not proving this story to be a fake through looking into his claims? We all have seen the usual people on these podcasts, including Elizondo, Greer, Corbell, and Knapp. Maybe certain individuals just need approval first.
Snapshot of the film that was smuggled in 1991 out of a facility just south of Area 51. If I am truly in danger, that means that this film and this being is real, and God help me. But if I'm truly in danger and this being is real, that means the extraterrestrial program is also real. And I say, God help us all.